from R.T.O here. Hope you're all well today. And before we start today's proceedings, I've got a little bit of news, etc. And it's all to start with, it's pretty sad news. I mean, sadly yesterday news broke through last night of the passing of Dame Olivia Newton-John, actress, singer, and just a generally all-round nice person. Great singer. Obviously she'll be always remembered for playing Sandra D in Grease. We'll all remember her when at the end when she's got the leathers on and everyone going, oh. Didn't really make a bad song. Lovely voice. Part of my growing up, and we will be doing a tribute to her on Ladies' Day this month, doing a retro ranking of my favourite songs by Olivia Newton-John. And it comes not long after another iconic singer of the 20th century, Judith Durham, singer from The Seekers, another band that was sort of part of my childhood, especially the album Come the Day, which is the one with Judith's got the red dress on. Remember we had that album in our house and it got played a lot, so I like a lot of the songs on there. And I will be doing a tribute to Judith in September, because obviously next week we have got a special retro ranking for another important date, so I wanted to carry on with that. So Judith Durham and The Seekers will may come at the end of August. In fact, I can do a swap, but the one we've got for the end of August on retro ranking, it can go into September, because I think it's more important that we concentrate on saying goodbye on the channel to two great singers. Okay, I'm going to end on some good news. Did anybody watch the closing ceremony of the Commonwealth Games last night? I only watched it for one reason, but I sort of kept flipping, was watching something else, and that was of course the closing song that closed the games. A great rendition of Paranoid with Tony Iommi and the one and only Ozzy Osbourne. His first appearance, I think, on the stage since his little accident again with his back. He's had operations, he's been quite ill, and he looked fine and he was on great form. And did you notice that the bass player was a certain Adam Wakeman? Really, you know, we know Adam Wakeman's more known for his keyboards, but boy can he play the bass as well. It was great to see, and a great way to end the Commonwealth Games. Okay, that's enough for the news. Now on with the programmes. So today we have reached part 5 of the Sammy Hagar story, and today we're going to look at another of his little side shoot that he's done. He's done so much stuff with Sammy over the years, and this is Sammy Hagar and the Warboritas, and they're frequently and more recently referred to as the Wabos. Now the Wabos were formed in 1997 and have been active ever since. Their only hiatus was during the Van Halen tour of 1994, in which Sammy actually kept paying the band, which I think is absolutely fantastic. This is the sort of guy, people mock Sammy, but he does things like that. You can't knock him. So who is in the band? It's got one of his former Justice Brothers bandmates who has also played on quite a lot of Sammy's solo stuff on drums. That's David Lawser. Also in the band is Vic Johnson, who's done some guitar work on with Sammy before, and he did that acoustic album with him. On the bass we have Mona. Now I don't know how to pronounce the name. Is it Gananda or Janda? Because her name's Gnader. Don't know how to pronounce that. So that's the main band, and then there's other people that come and join them on the albums. Also, a keyboard player that appeared on, I think, 1 or 2 albums, can't quite remember. And Jess Harms, who also has played on Sammy's other solo stuff. They've released 4 albums up to date. So we'll have a look at these albums. So, coming in at number 4, we have the 4th and most current album. It is called Livin It Up, which is a semi-based lifestyle album. That's what it says on the tin. So on here we've got Sammy Hagar, David Lawser, Vic Johnson, Mona Gnader. That's what I'll call her if I get it. If someone knows a proper thing, just do a little breakdown, because it doesn't. I don't like getting people's names wrong. Also on here, additional personnel on percussion. We've got Gibby Ross. Some extra guitars by Bob Daspit. And backing vocals, we've got Nicole Summerwood. And the slide guitar is played by Roy Rogers. I don't know if that's his real name, but Roy Rogers. Where's his horse? What was his horse's name? I can't remember. And then we've got brass by Tim Hockney, piano by Austin DeLone, and pedal steel guitar by David Zerbel. First track on this one is called Sam I Am. I love this. It's got that guitar slide guitar at the start. I love slide guitar. Sammy sounds great on this. This is the best track on the album. It's a great opening track for an album. Really strong stuff. Then we get a track called Living on the Coastline. It's not too bad. It's got some nice riffs in this. I don't know if it's Sammy or Vic, but they sound really good. Then we get Mexico, another good track, great vocal from Sammy, really good rock song that one is. Then we get a track called The Way We Live. The drum sounds a little bit weird on here. It sounds like it's got a bit of a boing to it. I don't know. It reminds me of some of the drumming on one of Ian Gillan's albums, that Gillan's In, that horrible boom sort of sound. It really sort of spoils it because it's overpowering. The track's good, but the drums sort of spoil it. I love this bar. I like this. This is one of these fun time tracks. It's not the best track on the album, but it's just a fun track. One Sip. Not a song I'm not very keen on. It just lacks substance in places. It's not very coherent. Then we get Rainy Day Women, which of course is a Bob Dylan song. Hard to choose, because this is one song by Bob Dylan I really like, and I think Sammy's version is as good. Just a really good song. Halfway to Memphis. It's a very country style song. The pedal steel guitar sounds nice on it, but as the track goes, I'm not a great fan of that one. Sailing, solid track, nothing wrong with it. It's just a solid track. Let Me Take You There. Yeah, it's one of them tracks, not the best on the album. And Someday, the last track, is probably the weakest track on the album. Up until the last 3 tracks, it's a really great album, but I think the last 3 tracks sort of a little bit lacklustre. That's probably why this is at number 4, because the last 3 tracks don't really do it for me. But it's still a good album. The other tracks are great. So I'm going to give this an R.T.O ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 3, we get the year 2000 and the second album. It's called 1013. On here it's Sammy, Victor, Mona, David. Roy Rogers is back, and Jess Harms joins them on the keyboards. First track is a track called Shake a Doobie. Again, it's a great track to start the album. The guitar work is great. Victor and Sammy really rocking, and the bass line from Mona is terrific. Great little track to start the album. Then we get Let Sally Drive, classic sort of Sammy Hagar opening, a driving song. He's really good at these. It's just a great solid rock track. Really like that one. Then we get my favourite track on here, and it's called Sirius Juju. Real heavy rocker. Great vocal from Sammy. Absolutely top drawer stuff. One of his best songs of this sort of period in his career. Then we get The Message. This is written by Jess Harms. You can tell he's sort of involved because there's a nice piano bit at this, and it's got some great riffs in it as well. Good track. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose today. Sorry about that. Right, Deeper Kind of Love. A bit wishy-washy. Not my favourite track on the album. A Little Bit More. This has got one of them catchy melodies. You just can't get it out of your head. Really good little track. Then we get the title track, 1013. Now 1013 he was born on the 13th of October, 3 days after my birthday, or 3 or 4 days after mine. It's a good track. Love the guitar solo on it, really good. Then we get Protection. Again, it starts off with a classic, great driving riff to start us going, and a great vocal from Sammy. 3 in the Middle. Again, this is one of the heaviest tracks on the album. Solid track. Really like that one. The Real Deal. Again, I do like the riffs in this. It reminds me so much of Finish What You Started from Van Halen. To add to it, you've got some slide guitar from Roy Rogers. And then we get the last track, Tropic of Capricorn. It's not a bad track. Not the best one on the album, but it's a good solid track to win the album. Yeah, very, very enjoyable album. This has got some really heavy tracks on this. Very good album. I'm going to give this one an R.T.O ranking of 7.5. Okay then, coming in at number 2, we have album from 2002, and it's their third, and it's called Not For Sale. Sammy Hagar, Vic Johnson, Jess Harms, his last appearance with the band, Mona Ganeda, and David Lawser, of course. No Roy Rogers this time. First track is called Stand Up. Great start to the album. The opening riff is just brilliant. Good, grindy, heavy rock track. Love that track. Then we get Hallelujah. Still struggling with some words, and there is one that looks like. Again, a great rock track. I love that grindy, dirty riff on it. It's terrific. Then they do Halfway to Memphis again. The other one is a bit countrified. This is more rocky, and it sounds a lot better. Prefer this version. Things Changed. Not a bad track. Got some nice solid riffs on it. Then we get a thing called A Whole Lot of Zep. It sort of goes between Black Dog and A Whole Lot of Love. It's all right, but it's a track on the album that I find confusing. You're either going to do a cover of Black Dog or A Whole Lot of Love. Don't mix it up because it just doesn't sound right. The Big Nail, more great riffs here. Don't know if we got Sammy or Vic, but whoever it is, it's great. Really strong track. Then we get Make It All Right. Great solid track, nothing wrong with this one. Does what it says on the tin. It's great rock. Not For Sale. Oh, what a great bass line from Mona. She's not the tallest person in the world, is Mona, but boy can she play a bass guitar. Great track. Then we get The Big Square Inch. I love this. Typical Sammy Hagar rock music. Favourite track on the album. Great guitar solo on this. Great vocal from Sammy. Brilliant stuff. Well, good track, as they say. And then we have the last track called Karma Wheel. This is a bluesy rock number. That deep bass line for Mona. Fantastic. Great track to end the album. A very strong album. I would say solid as you get. Okay, we've got that little bit of that Led Zepp thing that sort of doesn't really work, but on the whole I love playing this album, and I'm going to give it an R.T.O ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 1, my favourite album by a long way. It's called Red Voodoo. It's the debut album from Sammy Hagar and the Warbaritas, released in 1999. On this one we have got Sammy Hagar, the vocals, Vic Johnson guitars, Jesse Harms on the keyboards, Mona Janeda on the bass, David Lawson on the drums, and guess who's back? Yes, Roy Rogers. And we got the Tower of Power horns on Don't Fight It, Feel It. Of course, is a awesome picket. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So the first track on here is called Mass Tequila, and what this does, it takes the riffs of Rock and Roll Part 2 and they put little bits to it. It's a very, very catchy little tune, very well put together, bit better than the Led Zeppelin thing they did, and I quite like it. I like what they've done to the song. Second song is called Shag. Now, are we talking about the birds and the bees, or are we talking about tobacco? Whatever, it doesn't matter, because it's a great track. Great rocker. Absolutely a brilliant little rocker. Then we get Sympathy for the Human. I love this track. Again, there's lots of great riffs on this. There's more of a slow driving rock track this is. It's a really good track. Then we get the title track, Red Voodoo, a quirky little number. Love the keyboards in this from Jess. Brilliant stuff. Then we get my favourite track on this album, called Lay Your Hand on Me. Now this is a song of two halves. Part 1 is a nice gentle start with some lovely Hammond organ, and then boy does it go into a really good rocker. Great riffs, great singing from Sammy. Terrific track. Probably one of the best Sammy and the Warbos songs. Brilliant stuff. Then we get High and Dry. Again, another great track. The best bit of this is that bass line from Mona. Really drives this rocker along, and it's got a great guitar solo on it as well. Then we get The Revival. Again, strong track, great riffs, just solid rock. Then we get another cover. This is a Wilson Pickett number called Don't Fight It, Feel It. It's got the same sort of vibe as the Wilson Pickett version, called The Horns, but this is a little bit different because this is where Roy Rogers comes in, not on his horse but his slide guitar, and makes it a little different. I like the original version and I like this. You know, they're both as good. Great track. Then we get a track called The Love. This is a track that's Neil Schon from Journey is involved in. gentle sort of rock, slow rock, arena rock track. Tell that Neil's got some involvement on this. It sounds very Journey in places. It's a great track. Then we get Right on Right. Love the riffs again. Great bass line from Mona as ever, and some lovely keyboards from Jess. Really nice song. Really like that one. Then the last track is called Returning of the Wish. Highlights of this track is the drumming from Dave Lawser, some great guitar work from Sammy and Vic. It's just a really good, solid track to end the album. I love this album. It's brilliant, even with sort of 2 covers on it. One being a full cover and the other one being the one that incorporates another song. It's a solid album from Sammy Hagar and the Warbaritas. Best one they ever made, the first one. I tend to play this one the most. I just love every track on here from top to bottom, even the covers. So I'm going to give this an R.T.O ranking of 8.5. Okay, that's all for this. It's going to be quick because I had to stop this because we've got someone trying to cut grass, but there's no grass. He's just walking down the road with his... This is ridiculous. He's walking down a path with his motors on, trying to cut tarmac. There's no grass round here. It's all like burnt straw because we haven't had enough rain. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So that's why there's a little jump in this, because I did the first bit and I played it back and I couldn't hear a word I was saying. Anyway, I'll be back later with the retro ranking, and today we're doing one of the Beatles. We're doing the one that was born on my birthday, Mr. John Lennon. I'm going to pick my favourite tracks by John Lennon. So join me for that. Don't forget, if you like this, give me a little thumbs up, and if you like it even more, subscribe, and remember to hit the bell, because I put out stuff every day of the week except Saturday and Sunday, unless it's a special. So I will see you later. Bye for now.